hope you're doing well. In this video, we will be going through the basics of quadratic equations. So firstly, what is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is any equation of one variable, where the highest power of the variable is 2. To help better understand this, let's go through these two examples. 5x squared plus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. In this case, we know that this is an equation, and the only variable being used in this equation is x. The powers of x are x power 1 and x power 2. So because this equation has only one variable and the highest power of the variable is 2, we can say that this is a quadratic equation. The same goes for the second example as well. 2x squared minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. The highest power of the variable is 2 and the only variable being used is x. So to generalize this, a quadratic expression can be of the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where x can be any variable. It doesn't necessarily have to be x. It can be y or c or t, or any variable can be used in this general form. A, b and c are constant known numbers, but a cannot be equal to 0. We can compare this general form with these equations that have been given above. A would be equal to 5 here, b would be equal to 3, and c would be equal to minus 2. A, b and c therefore can be any rational number, but a cannot be equal to 0. Because if a were equal to 0, ax squared as a whole would also be 0, giving the expression a form of only bx plus c, which would no longer be a quadratic expression. So ax squared plus bx plus c is the general form for any quadratic expression, but when we equate it to a particular value and we compare the left and the right hand side, it becomes a quadratic equation. Quadratic equations always have two solutions because they are a degree 2 polynomial. The two solutions could be of different types. They could be two distinct solutions, they could be two repetitive solutions, or they could be two complex solutions. But there are always two solutions. A degree 2 polynomial is a type of polynomial where the highest power of x is 2. And as we saw in the explanation in the beginning of the video, we know that quadratic equations, therefore, are degree 2 polynomials. The solution of a quadratic equation is the value that needs to be substituted into its variable in order to make the equation true. So if we took some kind of simple equation like 3x minus 1 is equal to 0, this is just an equation, it's not a quadratic one. We would solve this and say x is equal to 1 by 3. By bringing the 1 from the left hand side to the right hand side, the sign would change, and bringing the 3 to the right hand side, we would get x is equal to 1 by 3. So what does it mean when we say this is a solution? It means that in this equation, when x is substituted with 1 by 3, we get the equation true. So 3 into 1 by 3 would be 1. 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So in substituting 1 by 3 in this equation, we satisfied the equation. This applies for even quadratic equations as well. So in the equation x squared plus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0, for example, we can solve it and say that the solutions are minus 1 and minus 2. This means that when we substitute x with minus 1 or x with minus 2, the value of the expression becomes equal to 0, thus satisfying the equation. We can even prove this. If x was equal to minus 1, it would be x squared, which is 1, plus 3x, which would be minus 3, plus 2, which is equal to 0, thus satisfying the equation. The same goes even for minus 2. We have 4 minus 6 plus 2, which again is equal to 0. Minus 1 and minus 2, therefore, are the solutions to this equation given here. So how do we find the solution of a quadratic equation? We will find out in the next few videos. There are many ways to do this. We can use factorization. We can use completing the square. There is a quadratic formula as well. We'll also find out how to draw the graphs for quadratic functions and also how to solve quadratic inequalities. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any suggestions, any questions, or any improvements I can make, please do let me know in the comments below. Thank you and bye.